Tubers, Tibets, and of course my colorful collection of crazy people. The upcoming video, should you decide to watch it, is me, once again, having an unfiltered conversation with two other expats. Allow me to take a moment right now and apologize. All right, here we go. Okay, boys, so what's new? Paul, you go first.
I'm doing well.
And?
I'm doing well.
Michael?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. Thanks for having us here. Again, we're up here at Force Camp, and thanks for the invite.
No problem. So we thought we would just chit-chat about our days, our lives, gossip, lie, whatever comes to mind. So, Paul, what's your story? It's the first time you're on my channel.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So from World Zoom, I appreciate being here with Mike's Philippine retirement and you, Paul. So we've met several times, but thanks for having me on. Mike and I started just about the same time with our channel. So I was in Dubai when I started, knowing I was going to come here, and did a couple videos there, and I came here in September. So for me, it's brand new, about 10,000 subscribers, and super happy with that. And I got monetized in December of last year, and you know, it's been a lot of fun. I was retired September 4th from a long time in hospital administration, and I didn't have anything to do. I really failed retirement, is what I should call it, because I just went from 100 miles an hour to nothing. And this YouTube has like saved me, you know. I mean, it's a joy, you know, to do it and to answer the comments and just think of something every day to be able to do. And being here in the Philippines has just been great for me.
How's your love life?
It's good. My girlfriend is a policewoman in Dubai.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we had to do some shameless self-promotion at the beginning of
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's right.
You know, you can read all about it in his About section.
Oh, exactly right.
And his biography will be out soon.
Sorry.
And you can buy the book.
Next time, Mike, remind me to say briefly.
Briefly, it's a habit. We can cut that.
I was going to go get some coffee and come back later.
See, this is what I love about being with Paul. He's going to blast you, which is awesome.
It's an adventure every time.
That's right. And I deserve it.
Now, I'm going to tell you one thing about Paul.
Uh-oh.
You guys
Paul.
the smart Paul.
Yeah.
The one with the PhD and knows everything and does all this.
Listen, I got a B once in algebra.
I got D- because they didn't want to fail me. You know. But Paul, we run into Paul all the time, and he's a photo bomber. If you're doing a video or taking a picture somewhere, all of a sudden he'll show up behind the camera. Hi, Janet. Hi, and run by, and all my guests turn to, who the heck was that guy? So he's shameless in wanting to be notarized here in the Philippines. So, but all in all, he's an okay guy. He's a good guy.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do on a daily basis that people might be interested in?
Well, me, I don't do too much. Me and Janet hang out. Like, Janet's my best friend. She's my partner. And we hang out in the house. We get her son ready for school most days. And once he's gone, we'll throw the camera and the tripod and go into town or go up the mountains and make a video now and then. But more or less, we just enjoy our life together. And but our life is contained within our own family unit, other than school hours. That's when we can go out and socialize. But after 4, we're home taking care of her son and, you know, taking care of dinner and cleaning the house.
How about you, Zoom?
You know, it's pretty boring, but 7 days a week I do some tutoring online. I teach Chinese students that are preparing for their medical school entrance. So 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I teach Chinese students getting ready to take the MCAT, the exam to med school. So that keeps me busy. I've done that for quite some time and fun. Other than that, I don't do much. I just run and mess with Mike and, you know, bother everyone.
Get in our way.
Exactly right.
Trying to get notarized.
Exactly right. That's the truth.
You might buy a poster and put it up on the boulevard.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me. You know I will.
So you teach Chinese kids?
I do, yeah. They're postgraduates. They're trying to get into a U.S. or Canadian medical school, so 1 hour a day. I used to do more, but that's enough. It's hard to teach, right? It is for me anyway. So they're getting ready to take their entrance exams. They need a good score to get out of mainland China to get to the U.S. to the medical schools.
How long has it been since you've been back in the States?
I was there in last August.
Oh, okay. So
So
recently.
not too long, yeah.
What was
Yeah.
your motivation? Were you motivated to retire outside of the States? And 'cause I know you were in Thailand for like 11 years or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
And you were the head of a hospital. You were the big kahuna.
Yeah, I started in Chicago, worked for the same company for 25 years.
What did you do there?
I started I left the military and I started as a vice president. So I left to go from there to the experience I had in the Navy qualified me to jump like a managerial role, and I started as a VP, and I worked for the same group for 20 plus years. Just
Okay.
I happened to move all over the world to do it.
And what's your PhD in?
Economics.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what was your impression of America last time you were there?
I was a little bit surprised. My mom and dad are still living. They're quite healthy, and I just wanted to spend some time with them. I was surprised, with just some of the struggles and how people are struggling. The average middle class is having a tough time with the increase in the rents and, the payments for the housing. I mean, I'm looking at people paying, $2,500 US and more for their mortgages and things.
Yeah, yeah.
And whereas the income is fairly stagnant, and there's the poor are struggling, the homelessness and the fentanyl and the drug problems. It's everywhere now. It used to be where I was mostly in Chicago and Indianapolis. We just didn't. I mean, Chicago's always been a bit of a mess, but now the homeless are there by the hundreds and hundreds, the tent cities, especially in the West Coast. So, yeah, overall it's a surprise to me each time I go back.
Because it wasn't like that just 6 years ago. I mean, I guess it was, but it seems like it's just amped up like crazy.
It started.
Is it a fentanyl thing? Is it
It's the fentanyl. It's the lawless. People have so much freedom in the U.S. that you can do what you want, and even those who don't want to do anything positive are doing bad things, and they're allowed to a certain point. It's like yelling fire in a movie theater. You have these people who go right to the edge and make it uncomfortable. When I was in Albuquerque, we would pull up to a gas station, get gas in the truck, go inside and get a coffee, and 4 or 5 homeless people would hit you up for money, and sometimes you feared for yourself a little bit that they wanted it. It wasn't like they were asking. They weren't robbing you, but they were being very forceful in their asking. And rents, from Las Vegas, I was paying $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment in 2019. 2021, I can just imagine it's like $1,800 or more.
Yeah.
So
I've always
it's
thought
tough.
of Asia, not just the Philippines, as an inflation vacation.
It is.
A guy could, hypothetically, if he's set up right, or a woman for that matter, or a couple, doesn't matter. You could just if you don't have a commitment like a mortgage and all that, if you're renting an apartment and all that, you can just come over to Asia and hang out for a year until it's sorting itself out. Because inflation's at a 40-year high. I just heard that.
Yes,
It's
but,
been 40 years since it's been this expensive over there.
But those of us who came here, and you're on Social Security,
Yeah.
like I am,
Yeah.
the last 2 years we've gotten like 14% increase.
True.
And so inflation is 10%, so we still had a positive net gain. And the big savings here in the Philippines is your living cost. The rent is so much less, and you get so much more for it, and the utilities are reasonable. Food costs typically the same, more or less, but you save your money in your rent is the big item to save on here.
Now, I heard today, or yesterday, that in 10 years, Social Security is going to be depleted, and that you and everybody else, myself, that's on Social Security, we could be looking at a 30% pay cut. You're the professor of economics here. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I have 6 years to go before I qualify. I was hoping to be able to get some of those monies before it happens. I think it's distinctly possible as people continue to live longer, and some of the monies that are being put in are capped because even if you're super wealthy, anything over like 120,000 US, you no longer have to pay once you reach that income for Social Security. I'd like to see that change. That would put significant money going back in.
I think that is being increased. The amount of money you make where they stop collecting Social Security from you is being increased. But we're dying off fast. The baby boomers, we're in our 60s, 70s, 80s. We're dying off quick. COVID just took a bunch of us out of there. Yeah. So there's going to be plenty. And I disagree on that point, being that the people that are in office will be afraid to touch Social Security because they'll all get voted out of office because there's no alternative. Either you're going to get Social Security or you're going to get nothing. Yeah. And I don't care if you're 30, 40, 60. You're going to vote those people out of office. So I don't believe they're going to touch Social Security.
Right. What else we got to talk about?
I want to talk about Baby May's dog.
Baby May's what?
Dog.
Dog.
Baby
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Somebody did a video on you, and they said what a great person you were, how well of a friend they were to you, but they didn't know the name of the dog.
It's ta-da!
I'm not a good friend of Paul's. We're associates. We're not great friends. Yeah. And I even knew the name of that
pushing
dog. So I don't know how somebody can say they're a great friend of yours and Baby May and not know the name of your dog.
That's low.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to remember that. Who comes up with that?
I do.
Yeah, I know. I'm not surprised.
So what is the story? How did Baby May get the dog? Have you told the story before?
Probably. I tend to repeat myself.
I do it on the same video.
Who cares? I'll just go ahead and say it again.
But I heard a story she borrowed the dog.
Yeah. Well, here's the dealio. I was down doing whatever I was doing over at, Ground Zero. And our MO is I'll take May and I'll drop her ass off and she runs off and does stuff, whatever she wants to do, or I drop her off with sisters or any whatever. And and then I go off and, hang out with lowlifes like you two. And then
I'm moving up the ladder. Yeah. I used to be nobody. Now I'm a lowlife. Pretty soon I'm going to be a good associate and friend, acquaintance. And
you're almost somebody.
I'm almost somebody.
I'll stay in the lowlife category.
I'm in the phone book, guys. I'm in the phone book. You can find my name in the phone book.
So what was I talking about?
The dog.
Oh, the dog.
Leaving Baby May.
So anyway, I get a message from her. This is about 5 months ago. And she says, I borrowed a dog. And so she said, I'm coming. I said, okay, see you when you get here. And so she shows up, and I look out the window, and here she is walking up with this dog. And I went outside, and I said, what's the dealio with the dog? And she said, well, I borrowed it. And I said, why? And how do you borrow a dog?
It could have been an 8-year-old boy.
You rent it for the day, or what are we doing here? And so she said,
why not?
The story is her sister Riza got this dog. And Riza's got 2 3-year-old boys and a 5-year-old girl. And she lives in a boarding house, and the dog was like outside most of the time eating rice and getting bitten by fleas and everything else. And when May went over there, the dog was hiding behind the refrigerator because the kids, boys being boys, they were pulling its tail and hitting it with sticks and throwing things at it, and they were just, the dog was terrified. And so May took pity on it, and she picked it up, and she said, I'm going to take the dog and take it home and give it a bath, and then we'll give you back your dog. And so that's her idea, borrowing the dog. Yeah. So she wasn't lying. So her and I talked it over for about 5 minutes because I took one look at the dog, and I'm a dog lover extraordinaire. I've always had dogs, and been wanting a dog forever, and it's like, okay, it's time. Yeah. And so, ta-da!
Yeah.
So your family has grown by 33%. Yeah.
Grown.
What was its name before Tada?
I have no idea.
Oh, so it probably didn't know either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, Paul, you don't have any, smart Paul, you don't have any pets or anything, do you?
I don't. There's a house dog that's there in the apartment that I live on, belongs to the owner. And no one seems to like the dog except for me, so I spend a lot of time with, including the owner.
But
so I spend a lot of time with that, but I don't. I'm not. We're not allowed to have any.
Oh,
yeah.
But Paul, he says his girlfriend's over in where's she?
Dubai.
In Dubai.
Dubai.
But you know, he has a close personal friend in his house with him all the time. Bob spends a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Tell us a
You and
story
Bob
about
getting
Bob.
along.
How'd you
How
get
is
Bob?
Well, I didn't realize there were plastic plants behind me in my videos. So someone commented like, I'm really sick of your cheap background and these cheap plants. So I looked back and thought, hell, I didn't even know they were back there. So I moved them and it was just a blank spot because I'm a guy. I don't know. Right? And so and then the same guy said, wow, that blank space is even worse. You know, can you get something to fill in? So I found this little plant and he was in a small little pot at that point. So I brought him in, and another subscriber that very same day said, that looks like a Bob. And it's just sort of escalated from there. Now I have Bob and Bob's girlfriend and Bob. You know, the problem is, you know, sometimes I really hear him talking. So I'm actually, you know, a little bit
Well, it's when you
concerned.
start answering it.
That's
when
right.
the issues
That's
develop.
right.
Yeah.
So we've been having fun with Bob, and he's pretty much a daily part of the videos at this point. I did 3 in a row without him, and people were pissed.
One of my first live streams, one of your fans kept mentioning Bob. You should have Paul and Bob on the show. And I said, sure. And I'm sitting there going, who them? It's Bob. You know? And I'm thinking, Paul's, he's not gay.
Right.
Bob.
God.
And,
Yeah. I'm not.
Thank God
His girlfriend's in Dubai.
Yeah, sure. She, what girlfriend? No one's ever
With a
seen her.
PhD, moved to the Philippines.
Yeah, no
and
one.
has got a girlfriend in Dubai.
Right.
Who does that happen to?
Right. Nobody.
So this is the only guy I know in the Philippines that's an American or
Why did I come today?
is in a long distance relationship with a Filipina, and she ain't here and he's here. The role reversal here is like unbelievable. So until we visually see her on camera, this is like we don't believe.
I'm going with the Bob theory.
Yeah, it's Bob.
Thank God his name's not Bill.
Yeah, Bob
Bill.
seems a good name for him.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bills we've been running into lately. Yeah.
So what's an average day for you? You work out, you relax, you do a lot of videos.
Yeah, I do.
You do the Chinese thing. What's the deal with China? I thought they were like having a big fight with America and you couldn't talk to them, but that's not an issue?
No, they all have VPNs out of Hong Kong, and so they watch me. They just can't subscribe. So I have a lot of people from China, and so
Like the
younger
kids you teach English to.
Yeah, it's all in English because their exam
but
is in
it's
English.
VPN.
Yeah, they have to have a special
okay,
VPN out of Hong Kong or another area
Otherwise,
to be
you'd be blocked, right? Or no?
you know,
wrong?
I have to be a little careful for them what I say. So just because I don't want on anybody's radar over there, so I don't mention too much in YouTube.
So would they get in trouble if the government found out you were chatting with them or not?
Not for that, but if they get on Netflix or they get on YouTube and there's some reason that they've been critical of China, then it just compounds and it just goes one thing after another after the other, and then they get in trouble for having a VPN for watching
That's a great thing about
shows.
being an American or being
the
from
freedom
Britain or from Australia or any of the other countries.
So true.
Because we can just, you can speak out, speak your mind, and you have a voice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about YouTube, is that it gives everybody a microphone. And it used to be you had to be on an FM or an AM radio station, or you had to have a TV station or to be on the news or to be. But this day with the internet and with YouTube and other platforms, people can, a little guy like me and the rest of us, we can say what we want to say, and we can express our opinions. And I don't know, I just think it's healthy.
On the YouTube end of it, a lot of people, they'll say, oh, I don't like what you talked about. They'll talk about my content. Well, there's so many people on YouTube nowadays, and you have the right not to watch. If you don't like my content or Paul's, you don't have to watch. Or you can, if you like it, but then you don't like the subject we're touching on, just turn it off and go somewhere else. There's so many choices out here, and all different ages. I'm an old retired guy. Paul's been doing this for a long time, and he's a smart guy. So you can get different ideas and thoughts about the same topic you know, age gap or transgender or whatever topic that you're on that day, or politics, and you can find somebody who you agree with or someone you don't agree with, but you want to make a comment about it. The only thing I always ask is make your argument about the comment. Don't make your argument about the person that made the comment that you didn't like or the subject matter.
That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's more be able to defend yourself. Don't just say he's an idiot.
Stay on task.
And go, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question. I was meaning to ask guys, and I just can't remember. Do you think too many people are moving to Dumaguete? Do you
No.
think too many expats, foreigners, are moving here?
No, I don't.
What do you, Paul?
I don't either. I
No.
enjoy having them here, and I like the quality of the folks that are here. So I'm not. I haven't seen that. I don't feel that way.
I've been hearing that once in a while.
Yep.
And I got to concur with the both of you. Because
I think if you go,
I consciously, the last couple of days, I went to Robinson's, I went to Lee Plaza, I went here, I went there, and 95% of the people that I saw were Filipinos.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of expats here, granted, but they tend to congregate in expat arenas.
hangouts.
You know,
That's right.
the coffee shops or the bars or the restaurants, they're kind of catered to the foreigners. But as far as wandering around all day, May and I drove out to Chateau, her hometown. I didn't see anybody out there.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We
as
went
far as-
farther up to Bayawan.
Yeah.
And we didn't see, I saw one couple
Right.
on the beach. The rest are all Filipinos, native people, that's their home. But if you go to the, quote, the Ground Zero, the San Ravel, the places, Why Not, Game On, or what is it used to be called? The
Bogarts. It used to be called
Bogarts.
Bogarts,
You've
yeah.
seen it on YouTube. You come here, you're staying at your hotel, and you're going to go, let me go hang out there, and you're going to meet somebody, and you're going to talk, and you're going to learn the lay of the land. So, yes, in places like that, you're going to have a lot of foreigners. But if you want to be away from it, and you can come up here to Valencia, don't go to the local coffee shop, but a little bit away from the plaza, you won't run into people. And where Janet and I live, I have a neighbor that's foreigner, he's back in the U.S., but all the rest are Filipinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is it about YouTube? Seems like everyone that moves to Dumaguete has a YouTube channel.
Well,
And their girlfriend,
Yeah.
wife, and grandmother.
that comes from COVID. That comes from COVID. 2 years of sitting at home, learning about the Philippines and learning about Dumaguete. And now you're thinking, okay, I'm going to move there. How can I supplement my income? And you're thinking it's easy, it's something I can do. And it is fairly easy to do. And you should try. But the thing I'm going to tell the viewers are, you choose who you want to watch, who you want to promote. But there's no harm in some guy videoing his life here. And maybe his family's watching it. Maybe it's a history for himself 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So not necessarily every YouTuber is out there trying to make a living.
Well,
off
it
of
just seems
YouTube.
like Dumaguete seems to be flooded. Where like other areas, Manila and Cebu and whatnot,
That's-
doesn't. I don't know.
That's-
Is there a form we all have to sign when we move there?
No.
I think a lot of it goes back to you and to Bud Brown and Rike in that, you know, like when I started, I didn't even know where Dumaguete was. I lived 2 years in Manila, but I'd never heard of Dumaguete.
Right.
But after I came back to the U.S. and was working, and then I met Sheila, who was from Tanhai, I started looking at you know, and some of the YouTubers that were here. And so I think it's a combined thought process in that I can both come to Dumaguete and have a YouTube channel, and it's encouraged. And there's a lot of topics, and no one really says there's too many, because how can there be? Everyone
it's-
gets their own, you know,
I
group.
do.
I always say
don't
the more
think
the
that-
merrier.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a bigger selection than none. And
But I
when
don't
I moved
think
here,
that-
there was like 3 or 4 guys you could watch.
Right,
There was Rike,
right.
there was Ned, there was Bud, and then there was a kid named Chris in Cebu, and there was a guy named Mike who since passed away, and there were 10 maybe.
Yeah.
But, you know, of them, 4 of them were really worth watching. The other ones were kind of, you know, out there a little bit. But I thought those guys were awesome because...
They didn't have no one to copy to what they did. A lot of their stuff in the beginning was original, and then it slowly came up where they started using the same topic over and over again. But there's always a new spin on that topic. As time goes by, things change.
I found that if I watched Ned and if I watched Rike, They talked about stuff that I needed to know.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ned
they
was
talked
good.
about throwaway tickets, and they
Yeah.
talked about exchanging money and how to transfer money, the mechanics of moving here. And it surprises me that I meet guys and they are living here and they've yet to set up anything.
Yeah, anything.
Before getting
So,
here.
yeah, so
And it's
many.
like, I want to. There's so many channels out there that have that information. That I'm remiss in doing it. I've done it once or twice before. That you do it this way, that way.
Yeah.
That's just not my style.
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
tell people the mechanics. But maybe that would be a good video for you guys to do. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
again, another reason people come here, Dumaguete, it's where it's located. We don't have the big earthquakes here. We don't have a volcano. Storms aren't really as prevalent as they are up in Luzon. It's a peaceful place, and you got the beaches, you got the mountains, and you can get Western style living here easier if you want it. You can find it easier.
Yeah.
I am surprised, like Iloilo, which is one of my favorite places, they really only have 2 vloggers. It's 5 or
Yeah.
6 times the size
Yeah,
of
that's my
Dumaguete,
point.
and it's a great modern city, but there's really only the 2.
Talk about
Yes, sir.
Iloilo for a while. Because I was only there for 2 nights.
Right.
How long
right.
were you there?
I've been there quite a few times.
So
So,
tell the folks
yeah.
about Iloilo.
I just find it ultra modern. The streets are quite wide because it's been new, and they have the new Mega World sort of designing areas. So you have areas in Iloilo that are a lot like Duma and a lot like Cebu, but more of it is quite modern with the wide streets and the sidewalks and the malls and the housing. They built about a 15-kilometer walk along the river there that you can ride your bike and run on. The fitness, all the things I really like to do,
yeah.
malls and fitness and walking and running and riding my bike and wide
Yeah.
streets and not getting squished when I want to ride on the street,
Right,
a limited
right.
number of foreigners, and
Yeah, yeah.
the housing's a little tight, you know.
That was my question. I have to go back. I already
Yeah.
decided that, man, we went with another couple and we had a blast.
Yeah.
And everybody got rested and relaxed, and we took taxi cabs and we tried to find some rental property.
Yeah.
And we were a flat poop out.
Yep.
And then a subscriber invited us to dinner, and we went and had dinner with him, and we were able to get 2-3 hours of really good information.
Yeah.
And history on Iloilo. Apparently, it's the origin of nursing. It's the place where the nursing schools got started, and they've got a lot of history. And the cab drivers, the taxi drivers, were never shy in bragging, as they should, that it's the cleanest city in all of the Philippines.
Yeah.
And that from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning, they get out and wash the streets and pick up the trash. And like Paul said, if you're health conscious, if you want to ride a bike or take a walk or breathe fresh air, they're converting over to these more modern buses and getting rid of it.
Yep. Yep.
For me, I didn't get an opportunity, and when May and I go back, we're going to hook up with a couple of people that are staying out there, and we're going to try to do a tour of where to live and rents and what's available and how much and where it is, because I can't vote one way or the other. I wasn't
Yeah.
there long enough.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of a plan B. Maybe there's going to come a point in time where Dumaguete we just need a break from it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? And
agreed.
every time that we leave, we really thoroughly enjoy ourselves. If we leave the country or if we just leave the island. But for some reason, I always miss home. You know,
Yeah.
it's like there's no place like home.
place like
And so I come back here where things are familiar, things are easy.
Yeah.
I'm 68 years old. I want to be comfortable. I'm no longer skydiving or, doing all the big activities and all that kind of stuff. So for me, being comfortable, taking it easy, taking a nap, that's how excited I am. But Elo is definitely worth another look.
Yeah.
And I made a quick judgment, maybe incorrectly, but I didn't care for Bacolod at all.
Yeah.
I was there I looked outside the window, and May and I went down to the mall, because we were there before we were at Iloilo, and the mall was jam-packed with people, and it was loud, and it was noisy, and it took forever to get from A to B, and I said, I really don't like this.
Well, it's at least
Yeah.
4 times larger than
Oh.
Dumaguete,
For sure.
It just didn't
Large-
float my
large.
boat.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect, Bacolod, love you, mean it, but
Now
it
we
just
looked
wasn't my
we
deal.
looked on Marketplace for some homes in Iloilo to rent. We're curious about them. The one thing I noticed, they didn't have a lot of furnished homes for rent. Most of their homes were unfurnished. So it's not similar to Dumaguete, which is expat ready. You come, you find a place that's furnished, you moved in. I think Iloilo is more of a permanent home. Once you decide on Iloilo, you might be staying there a long time.
But it's very cosmopolitan. Very modern. I didn't see a lot of province, but is there province areas?
There is a province. You just have to go to, Haro and the areas around just out. Because I think it was very similar to Dumaguete and even Cebu, but then they found these new areas that they build up, like along the river and the Mega World and all these malls, where they had a decent amount of acreage.
Okay.
And so when they build all these structures, the footprints of the Courtyard by Marriott and the other hotels that they built and the two malls and where you walk and bike, they had a big footprint. And so they build it like a city that isn't normally what you're going to see here in the Philippines. That's the main thing I liked.
Yeah. It's a nice break. I mean, it's a cool place to go. What about province life? You guys ever consider living out in the province?
No. I'm too old for that.
Me too.
The one thing I'm scared about is being too far from the hospitals. I'm 60, going to be 69 next month, and I don't have to live right next door to a hospital, but I'd like to be within the general vicinity. Like Dumaguete, we got a couple nice hospitals here. If you live in Bayawan, you have to travel all the way here to Dumaguete to get into the hospital. So
same thing with Siquijor, I think.
Siquijor, yes. I don't know where the nearest hospital is going south. What would be the halfway point where Dumaguete's closer than somebody else's hospital. But Siquijor, I think you have to come here also.
Yeah, there's a small clinic, that's it.
That's what it is?
Yeah, very small.
So you spent a lot of time in hospitals. You were an administrator, right?
Yep.
In Thailand.
Yeah, and Hong Kong and Cambodia, lots of places.
What's your take on medical care here in the Philippines?
I really do give it the thumbs up, honestly. I mean, I have a lot of respect
If I had a heart attack right now, sorry to interrupt, but if
That's
I
all
had
right.
a heart attack right now, are you confident that if you guys can get me to the hospital, that somebody could get a stent in me or get me on the table and start working on me?
Yes, I am. At Silliman, I am.
Silliman.
I mean, they're board certified cardiologists and neurologists, orthopods at Silliman. I mean, there are some things that I would probably go a different route. If I was going to have a stent put in, I wouldn't mind doing that at Silliman. If I was going to have an open heart surgery or advanced oncology with the chemo and radiation, I probably would go to St. Luke's or Asian Hospital or Makati Medical in Manila. But for everything else, even the orthopodic, hips, knees, shoulders, basic oncology, basic stent, cardiology, very basic neuro, I would be happy with that here in Silliman. But I wouldn't do the province hospitals. If you remember the gentleman that broke his arm and that process, broke the elbow and the thing. There are places not to go under any circumstances. Right. But you can find the places.
I signed up. I have an appointment on the 16th for that executive wellness check at Silliman. It cost me 12,000 pesos, prepaid, and the lady told me it's a 4-hour deal in the morning. They start doing blood work. They're going to do x-rays, they're going to do some scans, and then a consultation with the doctor. So they were very professional when I went in there. I didn't have to wait. You went in, I was second in line, they waited on me and got the application, made the appointment, set me up with a doctor, took my money of course, but I have a time set and we'll see how that works out.
I'm seeing younger and younger guys move out here. What do you guys think about that?
Very, very much so. Not only younger, they come for a longer visit. At 40, I have a friend Blake here that's 32, retired, and he lives here. They're coming here looking for the perfect girl. And they're in a lucky situation that they find that girl and they decide they want to go back to the States and have a life. They can, and then come back here and build a home. But more and more younger people are coming here, but more and more people at risk in their early 50s where they don't have a pension yet. and they're relying on their savings to survive until they get to their pension.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about that group of
I am
people.
too. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah,
That's
the
why
ones in
I have that
Yeah.
myself, right? Yeah, my pension's not till 59 and a half, and Social Security 62. So whatever I have between now and 59, you know, is on me. You know,
Yeah.
comes on the
How
retirement.
old are you?
So 56.
56. Okay.
Yeah, so I've got, you know, really 3.5 years for one and like 6 years for the other. So I had to be sure in my mind if I was calling it quits, you know, that I was really going to be fine to be able to travel and do my things and get what I needed, you know, wherever I was going to set up. But, you know, the flip side of that is I can always work again, right?
That was my next question. I think about that a lot because I get guys emailing me or messaging me and they're like afraid to come over here or whatever. And so the usual thing I always say is we'll come over on a test run. You know, money's not an issue and you can afford it. Come over for a couple, 3 months, see if you'll like it or not. And I had the mindset when I came over here 6 years ago that I could always go home.
Yeah.
I'm a plane ride away from home. And I could still go back to work in my field.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, well, you know, I tried it. I didn't like it. It didn't work. And I'll just go back and rent me another apartment or buy me another house and get another goofy car and get another job I don't like.
Some
got it out.
Yeah.
Some guys come and they think they're going to get a job online. They're going to teach like you're doing.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion on that. Make sure it works back home first.
Yeah,
Get online,
that's
get
true.
signed up, do it for a little while. And the other thing, you guys that are retiring, don't come here until you get your first Social Security check, if you're going to live on that. Because if there's an issue and you're 8,000 miles away, it takes time to sort through that. I have one subscriber, he didn't get his check on time. He needed to call the Social Security Administration in the States, and it took like 3 or 4
You know
weeks.
that also, right?
So-
I
I'm
remember
working
that,
on one
yeah.
right now, by the way.
Yeah.
I got another guy.
Uh,
that's-
Have your
trouble.
income set. If you're coming here and you're going to try to work online, have it set up before you get here.
Yeah, let me go ahead and hit that if they're still with us.
Yeah.
I left a while ago.
There's
guys.
no more plugging. There's no more channel
I mentally
plugging. You're
checked
safe.
out 10 minutes ago.
I'm still here because I haven't seen any butterflies yet. As soon as I see one, my mind will go.
We got Paul tied down to the chair. He ain't going
right.
nowhere.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
But it's common sense stuff. But if you're going to come out here and you're going to use I can only speak to Social Security because that's what I feel like I know because that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
Set it up in America. I went down to a brick and mortar on my birthday. That's how anxious I was, and talked to a human being. And then, like, I think it was you suggested, wait till you get one check in the bank to know that it's working. Have an American address, a mail forwarding service. Have an American phone number.
Yeah.
I use Traveling Mailbox, and I use, what's it called, Magic Jack. And that's like $4 a month for Magic Jack and $20 a month for Traveling Mailbox. And then you can come here, we bounce back and forth, and everything stays copacetic. But there's too many guys coming over here that are trying to set up after they get here.
After they get here.
Like you, for example.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you're going to have to get online and sign up.
Yep, that's right.
And so you're going to need, it's okay to be in the Philippines.
Yeah.
But understand they're going to send out the proof of life letter.
Right.
A proof of life letter, if you're living overseas, means they physically mail you a letter to make sure that you're still alive and continue to send you your benefits. Well, getting mail over here is
Not the easiest.
not the easiest thing to do.
very true.
Yeah, there's no mailboxes in your front yard. There's not even a house number. So you have to go up to the main post office. In my case, it's Valencia. Other guys have P.O. boxes in Dumaguete, like Bud Brown did. But if you don't get that letter and sign it in, off go your benefits. So
And your bank's not going to accept a P.O. box in the Philippines as your address.
that's
so you
true.
need,
I didn't think of that.
I use iPostal One, you use the traveling mail. Whatever thing you do, it's $9-10 a month, and they get your mail, you have a legitimate address, so your banking won't get interrupted. And everybody, they're more comfortable sending you stuff to your mailbox than sending it all the way over here to the Philippines.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap.
No, it's
I
not.
had a copy of my divorce papers sent from the Las Vegas clerk of courts, the
Yeah.
records. They charged me $4.99 for the copy of the divorce decree, but it cost $180 US to put it in a FedEx envelope,
Believe that.
get it delivered almost to my house, and then that last mile cost me 577 pesos to get from the FedEx out to my house.
10 more bucks.
So for one piece of paper that you forget, that's $200 you're going to spend. So try and remember everything, and sit there. I use a whiteboard. I don't know what you guys. I had a whiteboard, and I would write on there, get a post off, get a mail service, get my phone number set up, notify the credit cards, something, a list of things to do before you come.
I think one of us, or all of us, at some point in time should do one of those videos
Checklist,
where
top
we
and
just
down.
say, these are 15 things or whatever it is.
150
before you
things.
leave.
150 things. Nobody can remember every one of those things because everybody's different. And with your medical, the one thing I can't believe people aren't doing, while you're waiting this year before you retire, go to the hospital, go to your doctor, get your colonoscopy, get as many checks, be a nuisance to your doctor. Say, oh, I want to check this out. Let me check that. And have them do x-rays. And like I said, that colonoscopy, so you're aware of your problems. And it's okay to come here with a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But you're aware of it, so you live, if you need a hospital close by, you can live close by the hospital. If you're in great shape, then you can chance the province.
Yeah.
But find out for yourself what's going on inside. Don't leave it up for chance.
I did the exact same thing. I pestered my doctor, and I faked it a little bit. I said, this hurts and that hurts, and I had him check it.
Whatever it
And
takes.
they
That way
said,
it gets
"Okay, you're
covered.
all right."
Right.
While you have insurance over there and you're going to a doctor you're comfortable with and a hospital, now that COVID's over, you should be able to get more and more services. When COVID was going on, you couldn't get into the hospital to get anything checked.
Yeah.
You couldn't see the doctor. They came out to your car and the nurse would yell at you from 20 feet away, "What's wrong?" And everybody was scared to death of old people when I was there.
So back to the young guys, like the 30-year-olds and the 40-year-olds. I'm pretty encouraged by that.
Yeah.
I like seeing young people travel and getting out of their little cocoon, and off of TikTok and Facebook and all that other stuff and video games, and getting out and seeing how the other half lives. And I think it's healthy. I hope to see more and more and more young people, men and women.
But they're
get
more
out.
European lately, though.
Is it?
I've been noticing a lot more backpacker. Maybe it's this time of year when they're on
are,
vacation in
yeah.
Europe. A lot of young
Yeah.
backpackers coming through town. But there are people who are hanging out, trying to make a life here.
Yep, I've seen them.
Now, are there, I don't know, so I'm going to ask you, are there online opportunities for people to teach English or make a living or something like that that they would want to set up, of course, at home? So let's just say there is, and you're working for ABC company teaching English or whatever it is you're doing. You'd want to work it in America and wait till you got your check and the bank once or twice, know how much it is.
Yep.
Everybody's happy with each other. And then you move over here and it's portable. Now you just got to be up at midnight maybe because of the time difference. But you can do that. Can you speak to that at all?
Sure. I mean, one of the things I caution people a lot when people write about exactly that, because a lot of people know I've done something similar, whereas Mark and Every Man Has a Story did Cambly for a long time, one of the main sites. But I always want to caution people, don't assume because you're a native English speaker that you're going to be able to get on that site and they ask you to record a video and then you send that in for their review. They have enough people right now where they can get someone bachelor prepared, someone very articulate and has teaching experience. So don't just assume you're going to come here and get on board with Cambly and they're going to accept you into the program. And Preply is even more so than that. So are there opportunities to speak for most native speaking places? Yes. But if you want the top 3 or 4 companies that are going to pay you every, like a Cambly, for example, you finish on a Tuesday, you get paid by PayPal on Wednesday. So every week you get paid like clockwork. And you can track it and know every time you teach 1 hour, you get $10.20.
So a 40-hour week, you make $400.
Yeah, I guess that'd be right. It does, it really doesn't work that much because you have to put your hours on there that you want to teach. So you have a schedule. You put it on Monday through Sunday, right, of how much. and then you need someone to sign up. So just because I want to teach from 9 to 10 doesn't mean someone picks me to teach from 9 to 10, right? So if no one picks me, I get zero.
Gotcha.
If someone picks me for 30 minutes, I get $5.10.
Gotcha.
Right?
That's getting to be very competitive.
It is competitive.
Janet's niece teaches online.
Yeah.
She's a graduate of the university here, and she has a child, and she teaches online. There's more and more Filipinos that speak English that you're in competition with.
That's
It
true.
isn't just, I'm from America, I got a BS degree, and you're going to get that job.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of competition here for these online jobs.
All right, so that just drives home the point. Get set up, do it, get paid, and where you're thinking you were going to make $2,000 a month and you end up making $600, it might realign your thinking a little bit.
That's
about
it.
making the trip, right?
It's hard to make much more than like $1,200. That's my thought.
And
I know
full time.
That's full time, but you have to be available some of that time. Now, once you get a group of students, like in my case, if I put on 7 days in a row, they're gone like that because I have the same people over and over till they take their exam, and then I have a whole new group. But I only do one a day, right? 1 hour a day, that's it. So I'm full. I've never had one where I put in an hour and it's not gone,
Got it.
you know, like that. But if I tried to do 5 hours a day or 6 days, I don't know if there's that many people doing that in the mainland. There probably is, but that's the same with Preply and Cambly and things, that making the real big money is difficult. Can you make 800 pretty easily? Yeah, I think so. If you get accepted, you really can. Much more than that takes some work, you know, because if someone does 30 minutes, right, and you have to sit there for the other 30, you're not getting paid, but someone can call in. So now all of a sudden you're going to get a call from who knows where, and so now you sat there an hour, but you only got $5.
So
You
in
know?
a whole, in your week, how many hours is dedicated to make that $800?
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, not just study, but signing up, whatever you have to do. How
Good
many
point.
hours in a week?
Good
are you
point.
spending?
And I'd say on average, someone would make about $7 an hour. If you actually work it, you get 10, 20. But those times that people don't call, and if you don't call, they're only going to give you $2.50 if someone cancels on you.
Okay.
You get something, but you lose $7.50. People didn't sign up. So you figure about $7 an hour that you make available. And most people do 2 hours a day, some as many as 4 or 5 hours a day that they'll sign up for, and you can do it 7 days a week. So Mark said he made $2,000 US, you know, a month during the time he did it. But I bet he had to work,
I
you
never
know,
saw him during that time.
6, 7, 8 hours a day he had to work. It's hard to make that much.
He was humping it out.
But
He was humping it,
you're
yeah.
established doing that. So just starting out, are you going to spend double the time, you know, going through finding students?
Sure,
or
because
a lot of time sitting in front of the laptop waiting for somebody.
Yeah, like I set the amount I want to charge. I have a different platform, so I gauge what they want me to do before I give them the price per an hour. And I'm not sitting there to make 10 or 20 or $30 an hour. I mean, they're Chinese, they're wealthy, and I gouge them bad. You know,
have
so
the
yeah.
credentials.
Yeah.
But you have the credentials.
Yeah.
All kidding
Yeah.
aside, you have the credentials.
Can't you do
Yeah.
private consultations?
Yeah, but I like having the company where they pay them. I don't have to do anything,
okay.
and then I just get a payment every week. You know, on Wednesday it just
simple.
comes to me, and I
there
don't have to
tax
mess with anyone, and I don't have to do it. If they don't pay, the company still pays me, right? I mean, I don't know whether they paid or not. I
Do
just
you
get
have
it.
to pay Philippine tax or U.S. tax on this money, or is this just free cash?
It's not free cash. Like, you know, I definitely have to pay the Internal Revenue Service. So when I do
US.
in the U.S. For that side. But I forgot the original question,
Yeah,
Mike.
that
So-
was
We were talking
That
about
was the
young
ori-
people.
Yeah,
The usual.
yeah,
Right back around to you. It's all about freaking you, this video. Jesus.
The title to this video is
No, it's all about Paul.
It's all about
That's the video title.
I was just talking about
It's all
teaching
about
Chinese
about-
people.
the young people coming over here taking over YouTube. Shall we both
Yeah,
go, Paul?
yeah.
There you go.
All right, we'll call it quits. Any words of wisdom from you knuckleheads before we go?
My word of wisdom, watch who you like to watch. enjoy, be
Yeah, but not
entertained.
about YouTube.
Yeah.
But about life over here, like budget or age gap, or you got anything about
You
that?
know, I have a lot of things on age gap. You know, I believe age gap is a thing of your commitment financially and emotionally to the girl you choose, and her commitment emotionally and to you. And you can't expect that the girl you meet is going to be paying the bills, going to contributing to the household financially. You're going to accept all those responsibilities. I'll quote Calvin on this one, the unspoken rule, where the guy takes care of everything and the girl takes care of me. And I'm not talking sexually, she takes care of my house, she takes care of my needs, make sure I take my medication. If someone has to go to the pharmacy for me, she does this. She manages the house, just like, quote, in the 50s, Doris Day or whoever was the Partridge Family, I don't know, the mother stayed home and took care of everything. And the man went out and earned the living. Well, we're the men, we support our family, and her job is to take care of the family.
What about you, Paul? What do you think?
Yeah,
Anything to part with here with the fellows back
Yeah,
home?
I enjoy the Filipino people. I think they're kind and gracious, good people. I enjoy being here. I anticipate staying. I'll travel to different places and hit different places, but this is my end spot, and I plan on staying. And I just, every day I wake up with some enthusiasm and feel good for being here. I haven't gotten bored yet, which I can't say for some of the other places I've been. So.
I haven't either. I've been bored, but only during this conversation.
Ouch.
We'll see you later.
Did the Lakers win?